Good day, everyone. How often do you go to a concert where you are the star? When the spotlight is not on the artist on stage, but on you, the person singing in the crowd. Well, one man turned that dream into a global phenomenon. Today, we have with us Mr. Badhri Seshadri, the revolutionary founder of Maadi music, a one-of-a-kind movement that has redefined what it means to experience music. Badri's journey is nothing short of inspiring. What started as a simple rooftop jam session among friends on a humble Mottamadi has now grown into a worldwide celebration of community and music with over 200 houseful shows across 15 countries. At the heart of Mottamadi music's success lies a revolutionary idea that music doesn't belong only to trained singers or celebrities, it belongs to everyone. To every bathroom singer, to every shy hummer, to every person who once tapped their foot to a beat. And thus, Mottamadi music became a symbol of democratizing music. Music by the people, of the people, and for the people. In his concerts, the audience is the star. It is a place where people shed their hesitation and sing with pure joy, where music becomes a symbol of bonding and togetherness, a reminder that we're all connected by melody and emotion. No wonder Badri Sheshadri has been awarded India's 50 sorry, most promising artist, earning accolades and admiration, not just for his music, but for his vision. A vision that made rooftops roar and turned strangers into choirs. As Mottamadi Music embarks on its next world tour, the message is clear. You don't need a special voice to sing, you just need to enjoy the music. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be inspired by the man who made us all believe that you don't go to a concert to listen, you go to a concert to perform. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Mr. Badri Sheshad.
Hello, Aditi. Thank you. Thank you so much for that lovely intro. It gives me an insight of where I come from. So thank you so much for that intro.
Thank you. So, Mr. Badri, they don't really know about the real you, the you behind the stage. So, let me lay some of the groundwork. So, can you tell us what you studied in college? Like, what was your degree in college?
Yeah, I did my BTech in civil engineering, like almost like the most of the population does. I did my engineering. My major is on civil, but then after my engineering, I did my diploma in audio engineering because my inclination moved towards sound. So I did my diploma in audio engineering, and then I moved to music. That's the
Oh,
educational.
so you chose
Yeah.
a very unconventional field after civil engineering. So, what inspired you to choose music over a corporate career?
More than music, I think it's the sound of it. I think when I was doing my engineering, that was the time probably South India was exploring the idea of theater mix, how a sound should reach you when you go to a theater to watch a cinema, and that was more intriguing inside my head. So, to be very honest, I didn't want to be associated with music. Rather, I wanted to be associated with sound. Anything that come regarding sound was very interesting for me. So I wanted to be a theater mix engineer, but then the background I come from has a little less exposure than a metropolitan city has. So with that limited learning, I thought probably if I do a diploma in audio engineering, it could
Oh,
be the pathway of what I wanted to learn. So that's how slowly I brought into the field of sound. But then the interest of music comes along because I am an avid listener of Tamil film music.
you used to
So
listen to
you
it
grow
when
up
you were small?
Yeah, like that is the only form of entertainment, right? Like not like this generation which has a lot of entertainments in their hand. When we grew up, it was limited to either cinema or music. When you talk about art, the most accessible art was cinema. So you grew up with music, literally, like your parents listen to music, your day-to-day goes with music. So it's whether it's to be very honest, it's not even a choice. It's mandatorily becomes a muscle memory where the music gets into your muscle, right? So that kind of laid the root for me to at least have an idea of music, and if I ought to create something, what kind of music comes out of me is also comes from the similar thought of what I listen to. So I think sound became the bridge for me, like to move from a conventional career of engineering to a non-conventional art side.
That's beautiful. So, if I'm not wrong, Matamadi music started on your terrace, like as a jam session amongst your friends, right? So,
Yes,
like,
yes.
what sparked the idea to set up singing session in Matamadi in the first place, like on your terrace?
I'm a strong believer in the idea of openness. Like I believe the true freedom comes when you are put in an open space rather than a closed space, right? That is always something that makes you like have some inhibition when you are in a closed four walls. Whereas when you are put into an open space, you know that your voice is going to be really loud, or your voice is going to fade out anyway. Something is going to absorb it. It's not going to stay. The feeling of,
Right.
yeah, this is not going to stay gives you a lot of freedom. So terrace becomes an automatic space of freedom. When you think about it, whatever you're going to, you want to think, you want to think something, you want to just have a conversation, you just want to be alone with a coffee. uh, the terrace as such a space absorbs everything, right? So
Yeah.
when I wanted to start Motamadi music, it was not Motamadi music back then. The name as such came because I started it in terrace. When I
Yeah.
wanted to do this jamming session, I was very particular. It shouldn't be inside a space where the immediate limitation is only these many people can come.
Yeah.
When there is open space, it actually gives people that feeling of, yeah, this is accessible because there is no limit to it. So that makes you feel the art is your own. So
Ah,
that's how space as Motamari started.
wow, that's like so inspiring. So, in your concerts, the audience is the performer. So, like,
Yeah.
how do you create that magic where everyone feels comfortable to sing? Like, no matter their voice, if it's good or it's bad.
Right. I have this theory, right, where 3% probably of, if you take data, 3% are the musicians right here, and the rest 97% are the listeners. So
Yeah.
who are selling and who are buying is the logic behind Matamari, right? If the 3% are going to sell and 97% are going to listen to it, what if you make the 97% reciprocate what they buy? That's the whole
Ah,
idea behind Motomori. Like, yeah, you have, whenever I mean, imagine when you gave the intro, you mentioned bathroom, right? You hum, you whistle always when you're in the bathroom because that is one of your relaxed state. Or
yeah.
you usually hum when you're in a very happy mood or a very sad mood. It always comes to you. So it is pretty evident that it actually emulates the kind of emotion you are in. It is your let go. It's like how
Ah,
you breathe out. Humming also kind of becomes that. So when you put something like that across people who also have similar mindset, that creates a wavelength, right? Like if you come to a place where all the 30 people out there want to just sing out, then it's not about just the music, or it's not just about the art, it's about having the same mindset together. So that's kind of became the idea behind Motamari. Also because since I started as a non-musician to musician,
hmm.
I was pretty sure that the listener side of music is very, very beautiful, of how I perceive it, how I want to how I want to emote it. Everything becomes very crucial and very entertaining as much as performing is entertaining. So building that bridge between the performers and the audience was something that was pretty much common. And to be very honest, it's not like an absolutely new idea. If you see the concerts in across the west, it was a pretty much a practice where the bands the people loved. There were incidents where even before the band comes on stage, people have started performing it. So it's the receiver who makes the art really beautiful, right?
Yes.
So you are producing something for the receiver, and then making the receiver produce it. It's all mathematical music is all about. So that's the idea behind it.
Wow. So you basically turned your like your disadvantage of not directly starting from the musical career into an advantage because you gained a new insight. That's like so cool. So,
Right.
so it's like every musician to start, they need support, right? Like some support. But like we
Right.
all forget that the primary support comes from our parents only. Right.
Yes.
So, what is the role of your parents in your musical journey? They supported your music.
So I am the first musician per se to take it as a career in the family, right?
Hmm.
So for them, it was pretty new. For someone coming from a middle class family to try something unconventional is was new for the city I grew up in. So to be very honest, it took some time for them, because they kind of thought that the conventional route they have put me on is going to be the right route for me. But then you have a conversation with them saying that this is what I want to do, and this is not something the general people are not going to do. So it's a pretty good conversation. So it's your responsibility, I would say, as a kid, to convince your parents with real arguments, right? Rather than simply arguing or simply being angry to get something. You learn about it. You kind of have valid points to support why you want to learn something. And I think then the parents are pretty kind enough to agree to what you want to do.
Yeah.
All that, these are different perspectives of care, right? Like they making sure that I should go on a conventional route is not an compulsory choice, but it's an extended care they are making. So you need to respect that. And then you got to be true to yourself. So you kind of prepare yourself on how you want to converse with your parents, so that it's legitimate that you want to follow your dream, and it's not foolproof to kind of skip something. If that honesty is laid between, I think that's the kind of honesty I laid between my parents. It took some time for them, because it's because of the background they come from, it's because of what they see in the society.
Yeah.
But the minute they agreed to support me, they went on 100%. So that wasn't 90% or 80% support. The minute they came on board, they were pretty sure that this is what I want to do, and I want to respect my son's choice. So I think that is the, I can even say that is the only factor back then which supported me to where I am right now. If the support wasn't there, probably it would have been much more difficult, or I might have quit, because I wouldn't have had the family support. So yeah, I'm pretty much grateful, to be very honest, for it's very easy to learn something new, but it's very difficult to unlearn something and then recognize something. So what they did was the bigger job than what I actually did.
Yeah, that's so cool. So
Yeah.
the next question is I'm sure it's like something like all of us have related to. So like
Okay.
a lot of students today want to follow like creative careers like art in the field of dance, etc. But there's always the fear that it's not practical, or like what if I'm not successful? So what would you like to say as a message to them, to all the children in the world?
I would say probably. I mean, this is an. I have two answers to the same question. The first answer is the most optimistic one, where I would say, uh, last generation was probably the last generation which thought art is an extracurricular activity. This generation doesn't feel art is an extracurricular thing. They think it's part of the curriculum, like the West, right? So if I want to learn an instrument, or if I want to draw something, or if I want to be part of an art, it becomes it's one is the access for it. It becomes more accessible. You have the internet right now. If you want to learn a new stuff, there are so many ways you can learn it. So that makes that access gives you to have a career regarding that. So I would say the fear factor has come down and the opportunities have grown up. So the people who want to do art are really, I mean, should really not worry about worry like how we were scared about that. Being that as one answer, that is a constant evolution of generation, right? So I think the next generation are much more talented to do two things at the same time. So if someone asks me right now, I would say do both. Have a conventional career on one side and a non-conventional career on the other side is what I would say is a wiser choice, until you make yourself as a superstar. Otherwise, probably you are wasting some part of your time, is my humble opinion. I would say, hey, you have a job on Monday to Friday from morning 9 to 5. Then if you spend 3 hours every day on your art, you can that is actually a possibility of you being jack of all trades here. Why would you want to miss that? So when the access got bigger, when the horizon is bigger, I would say you need to reach more. If my father generation reached a certain level, I have pushed that boundary. The next generation should push the boundary even more of doing more things. So pretty much both are optimistic answers, just that one requires smart work, one requires both smart work and hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So, you like basically want, like, it's actually very smart to have a foolproof plan, then pursue your passion, right? In case your passion doesn't work out.
Absolutely right. You for example, I mean, though I have went through the complete passion project of it, I know the struggles right here. And if you ask from my experience, I would say, yeah, it's okay to have a foolproof. The purity paint of passion that people try to paint on you is actually not that true. If you are capable of doing two things, why would you stuck to just doing one thing?
Yeah.
Like, there are no rules here on how I want to do it. If someone is really capable of doing two things, for example, there are a lot of friends, a lot of musicians inside Mottai Music who have a regular job at 9 to 5, and then they travel with me across the world on Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh,
Imagine their lifestyle right now. They have the best of both worlds,
yeah,
and it is possible right now. Now, the if you get into a job in the IT sector, and which is a remote job, and then you get to travel in the weekends as a musician. Imagine you have the best of both the worlds. So why would you want to control that,
yeah,
just because the rules say that either you need to have this or this? It
yeah.
doesn't work like that anymore. After the era, social media era, it doesn't exist anymore. You just need a camera to exhibit your talent.
Wow, that's so cool. That's such an inspiring message to all of us.
Yeah.
So, like, personally, before starting this interview, like, I was so nervous. And before every performance, I'm sure most of us get nerves or stage fright. So, like, my question to you is, do you still get stage fright after doing so many shows, like, before starting? And, like, if you do, like, how do you handle the nerves? Like, a little bit
To
of
be
hesitation.
Yeah, to be very honest, I don't have stage fright. That is one of the strengths of me. Even on the first show, I never had this stage fright because I have a louder voice. This is a very weirdly linked thing. Whereas the advantages of having a very loud voice is, you know that people are going to listen to you. The minute you start, you know you can grab their attention immediately. So the part where I get onto stage and perform wasn't the really difficult part in it. Whereas if you see me in the green room, or if you see me after the show, that's where my anxiety kicks in. I have severe anxiety before I get on stage and after I get on stage, because the responsibility gives me anxiety. Of like, see, there are 3,000 people who paid to come to your show. That then to entertain them, it's your absolute responsibility. The minute you go on stage, you have nothing to lose, so you don't need to
Yeah,
have a really stage fright. Whereas before and after the stage, it's where you are responsible for the 3,000 people to enter and to exit, and all this comes as part of entertainment. Along with that, I think, I mean, I think I just listen to music, which calms me down, or probably I just be really silent, so
yeah,
that I just put my thoughts across. Usually, what I do is, I prepare all the jokes which I'm going to make inside the show. Though it's a music show, to
Yeah.
get my confidence up and higher, I actually plot the jokes inside. It might look like it's naturally happening when you're seeing the show, but it's not actually naturally happening. You know that you're planting something so that the response will be this, and you can make a joke for it. So I just go on preparing all this stuff so that I don't think about actually performing. I just paint
Oh,
everything around so that my anxiety is answered better. But yeah, to people who might have stage fear, my advice would be really honest to your microphone. I think that is all you need for stage fear. You actually not fear. The stage fear comes because you believe that you are a little underprepared. That's the only reason. And what I usually tell people as a hack is, for the people who come to the audience, they never know what you prepared. So
yeah,
whatever you deliver, they're going to believe what you prepared. So it's you that you need to fight on stage and not the audience. So if you have that confidence, and if you are going to be really honest in front of the microphone, I think you can really get over the stage fear.
that's awesome. Like, that's like such a true point. So,
Yeah.
like you mentioned that your band consists of a lot of people. So, you and your group have stayed more or less the same throughout your musical journey, right? From like terrace to like the global stage. So, there are bound to be like creative differences, right? So, how do you handle these creative differences without leading to like ego clashes among artists? Like, as the
Right.
director of this group.
Right. So one of the qualities as a leader I learned in this process is the creative differences comes when you don't have the habit of listening. In more or less, the situation comes where every artist needs to be listened, rather than there is no enforcing situation where it needs to be implied inside the band. Whereas when there is a group of 10, there will be 10 different ideas. As a leader, have you listened to all 10 ideas to decide which is the better idea? So to bring down that, the leader of the pack should didn't have any ego inside.
Hmm.
The answer is in most of the situations, right? The answer is mostly within and not in front of people, or not because of the people. So if you are going to voluntarily omit someone's opinion, that's then you are planting or creating the root for that ego, right?
Yeah.
So predominantly you kind of set the moral in a way. Ideologically, you say that. So for example, in 2018, when we formed the band, the principal rule inside the band is everybody listens to everyone, and there is no hierarchy exist inside the band. When you make that very clear, and then you're going to travel for 8 years together, you still
Yeah.
stick by the rule on the day one, then you kind of manage the creative differences. For example, you need to, and then you need to logically answer them. If you are going to reject their idea, then you need to kind of logically answer them why you are going to reject the idea. It cannot be a simple rejection.
Yeah.
As a leader, you might have a vision on what you want to produce. So it's also your responsibility to tell them, those who are like struggling to reach the vision. You
Hmm.
cannot call them out just because they are being slow to reach the vision. It's your
Yeah.
responsibility to set each one's pace, so each one comes to the vision at different point of time. But it all so you as a leader need a lot of patience, needs to be a good listener to avoid the creative differences
Hmm.
that can happen in a group. If that happens, then yeah, then uh, probably the last thing is, there is always an alpha, right?
Hmm.
Like if you are the determined alpha in a group, the group should believe you are the determined alpha, so that they
Yeah.
can listen to you. It's simple, right? So what kind of leader you want to be, and how you are going to set the premise for the band, gives you, it's directly proportional to the length of the band. So if you are going to kind of being rude, very angry, and the band's length comes down.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there are two facets. On one facet, you need to be the leader of the group and show that you're leading them. And on the other facet, you should not shut them down and like
exactly.
tell them to
Exactly.
stop. Yeah.
Exactly. It's as simple as how we are in the family, right? we need to get first, the first priority is we need to get listened. That's all. It's not that I'm saying that I need to be the right one here. What I'm saying is listen to me is all I'm asking for. So
Yeah.
if you apply the same thing in a band, it still works pretty well.
So, like, that brings me to my next question. So,
Yes.
like, your like Mottamadi music is personally is like the like an idea I've never heard of before, right? So, but obviously there'll be these like annoying copycats who will see your brilliant concept and be like, "Oh, I want to do that." So, in such creative fields, how do you deal with copycats trying to replicate your concept? Do you patent it or like do you do?
In India, unfortunately, you cannot patent an idea.
Oh,
That's an unfortunate thing with respect to the law part of it. But yeah, like the biggest advantage of being a creator is if something is lost, you can create something new.
hmm,
The disadvantage of being a copycat is if the copied product is lost, you cannot create something new.
yeah,
So instead of cribbing about, oh, they have copied my idea, I'm really sad. I usually scale up on what my idea is, or I create something new, so that it sets a mark where I am differentiated from who copies me. So that has been probably, you learn the art, you learn the technique, you learn the business in such a way that your experience helps you to vanish all those copycats away from you, and then you just see what's next rather than looking back at you.
yeah,
So those who have copied are always going to be back. There is no
yeah.
history evidence that people who have copied have overtook the person
That's,
who created it. So it's your responsibility to not listen to those noises. Instead, work on what you believe in or what you can create something new, because you are the creator at the end of the day.
yeah,
Yeah, if there is a way, I would have definitely patented it if there was a way. I'm not denying that part, but considering it's not happening, instead of being sad about it, I just take an optimistic way of what new can be created, so that yeah, let's give them more homework on copying more. That's all.
yeah. So, like that. So, Mottamadi music has now grown across cities and countries, right? So,
Yeah.
what's your like vision for the next stage of this movement?
With respect to Mottamadi, I think the one of the biggest success of Mottamadi is never thought about what's next. It
Yeah,
just went with the flow like a river, right? We are a part of a team which came here to entertain people, and then we are constantly thinking about what are the different ways to entertain people. So I think the vision would probably be the same as what was the vision at 2018, to find more new ways to entertain people.
yeah,
But with respect to the business part of it, we are scaling up
hmm,
in different ways. We are opening branches in new countries, opening new places to perform, so that there is we create a market. So with respect to entertainment, you need to create the market to explore the market and then get the benefits out of the market.
yeah,
So the ultimate vision is to make sure that we have possibly performed in every place where the Tamil diaspora is, so
oh,
that it gives you a feeling of, yeah, I took the idea of Tamil from Tamil Nadu to the places where Tamil people lived. It's the kind of vision I have.
that's very cool. So it's like not just like geographic boundaries. It's like where everywhere where like Tamilians are.
Exactly, exactly. They all at least traveled eons and eons ago at some hope, right? So
Yeah,
people who came late must hold the responsibility of bringing some piece of Tamil Nadu to them. So it's like an artistic responsibility, I feel.
yeah. So, like, my final question to you is like something it's been burning at the back of my mind. So,
Yeah.
what's that unforgettable moment from any show that made you think, this is why I do this? Like, yes, this is why I do Matamadi.
Um, okay, this might be I mean, this is one of the, according to me, the turning points of Motamadi. Probably three, when you get successful, no, there is a lot of criticism, and the first time you take hate in on the face of yourself, you'll always be having that little pessimism on why we are doing this.
Yeah.
You expect gratefulness from the people instead of like doing what you want to do. That's a very human. So I was at that stage probably in 2021 or 22, where I wanted to quit Motamadi music, do something else, because the hate was very overwhelming. There were times where like, why do I deserve? Just because people were very angry about the success, and that's how people react. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But you get to be the face of it, so you face a lot more from it. So I thought, okay, I was having this small thought of what if we quit and do something else. So I did a show after that in Chennai, and then a girl came to talk to me after the show, and she said, I came to your Motamadi in 2018, where it was happening in a terrace and not this
Yeah.
auditorium level. And she said I was in depression back then, and I at that point, Motamadi coming to Motamari was one of the things which was therapeutically helped me to get better. And now in 2022, I have got completely better and I am absolutely fine. And you have got bigger. I think this is the win-win I want to take in life. When someone who received the idea tell you that this is what you have created, I think, according to me, that was that moment where it told me this is why I do what I do.
That's so
This has
great.
indirect,
That's so
there might be
inspiring.
like 2%, 3% of hate, but there is 97 to 90% of happiness.
Yeah.
Why we need bad apples when there are so many good apples?
That's so
So
awesome. That's so sweet.
yeah, I know. So you, as an entertainer, it's all that you want is you create a minuscule of happiness and impact in their busy schedule, right? They are
Yeah.
so glad running behind life. The role of an entertainer is to just stop them for a minute, give them the best entertainment to chill, and then go run again. I
Yeah.
think at that moment I felt that, yeah, I have given it to someone, and that made me kind of make more shows in Motamadi. So I think that's the answer to your question. That's the one unforgettable moment for me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Badhri Seshadri, for taking the time to join us today. So, and we're so grateful to hear about your inspiring journey and the music that brings so many people together. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you so much for being so kind, so warm with all your questions. Thank you for listening to me so patiently. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Thank you.